this lesson is titled 9.1. And it is we're going to be starting on page 344. We're introducing graphing, okay? All right, so notice on the page that you see a coordinate graph very similar to the one that you have in front of you, which is right here on the screen as well. We're going to work through this together. We're going to start here. You notice that you can make it very colorful and fun later if you wish, but for now, this is what it looks like, okay? Now, so when you are plotting points, you guys are probably somewhat familiar with this, but you're always going to start at the origin, okay? So you're going to write origin right here, O-R-I-G-I-N, okay? And I'm going to show you where the origin is. Okay, so the origin is right here.
So we have to draw one.
Well, you can just draw an arrow. I was just doing that for fun. But right here in the center is your origin. Okay? Huh?
Do we have to write that down? Do we have to point?
Yeah, you want to fill it in just like I am at the same time, okay? So that is the origin. That's the starting point, and that is always 0, 0. And you'll understand that here in just a moment. Then, when you're plotting points, you always start there. Then you're going to count out then you're going to use the x-axis, okay? Now, I want you to notice that this is your x-axis, okay? From here to here is your x-axis, okay? Okay? Up here is your y-axis. Notice that is your y. I don't think they make that large enough, so I'm going to make it larger for you. So you're always going to count out on the x-axis. If it is a positive number, then you're going to go this direction. If it's a negative number, then you're going to go this direction. Okay? Yes? Okay, moving on. So after you count out on the x-axis, then you're going to, from there, you're either going to go up or down on the y-axis. The x-axis goes from side to side, okay, depending if it's a positive number or a negative number. You're going to go up for positive and down for negative, okay? Also, this chart doesn't show you, but notice that this coordinate graph is really divided into four regions, okay? Okay, so they're really divided into four quadrants if you want to be specific, okay? So this one here is quadrant 1. Okay? And it goes not clockwise but counterclockwise. This would be quadrant 2, and I'm just going to put Q2, okay? But that means quadrant, Ezra. You better be writing this in, okay? This bottom one here is going to be your quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So anything that you plot in this area here is in quadrant 1. Does everybody see that? Anything you plot on the inside of this area is quadrant 2. This area would be quadrant 3, and this area would be quadrant 4. Okay? Yes.
Can I just put Q for abbreviating it?
That's fine.
Okay. cursive keys are horrible.
All right, so we know what quadrant. Now, when you have coordinate pairs,
Are you guys buddies again?
all right, so when you have a coordinate pair, and I'm just going to write this over here, they're going to look like this. Okay, so the first one is always your X, and the second one is always your Y. You want to write that down, okay? X and Y. So you're going to be given two numbers, and they'll either be a positive or negative number, depending on where you're going to plot those. But you're always going to have an X and a Y, and they're always going to be like that. So you may have a number that says 2 and negative 4. Well, you're going to know that this is your X and this is your Y. Okay? You filling in your paper with me? All right. Now, and that kind of goes along with this right here. This is your X coordinate and your Y coordinate. Okay? And those are called ordered pairs. Notice that right here. They are called ordered pairs. So your ordered pairs are 7 and negative 6, okay? So then you can come along and fill that in with a marker if you wish later. Okay, that's your ordered pairs. Okay, now, so if whatever coordinate pairs are plotted in quadrant 1 are always going to be a positive and a positive, meaning the X is positive and the Y is positive, okay? Anything that is plotted in quadrant 2 is going to be a negative for X and positive for Y. If you can read that, negative and positive. Okay? If it's plotted in quadrant 3, it's going to be a negative and a negative. Same thing for quadrant 4 is not the same. It would be a positive X and a negative Y. Yes?
This seems kind of familiar from last year for some reason.
We probably did a little bit of this last year.
The ordered pair can't read. But I still remember, don't you?
The ordered pair, it's your first number is your X coordinate, and the second number is your Y coordinate. And it also tells you right here that the plural form of axes is A-X-E-S. That's the plural form. You may see that from time to time. Okay? Okay, now, any questions on that? Okay, so we're going to leave that up here, and then we're going to practice plotting some points.
Miss Odell,
Mm-hmm.
may I have one of the wheelchairs instead of this chair?
No, because I'm going to make that one put that back because I only have them over. Now, let's practice some of these on the coordinate graph that you have on your desk. Those of you that are home, I will post a copy of some that you can print off and use, or you can get them online to practice, or you can draw them on graph paper. Now, remember, let's review here quickly. This is our x-axis. This is our y-axis. Okay, and then right here in the center is the origin, okay? So now I'm going to give you some points, and we're going to practice plotting these, all right? So we're going to plot 5 and 0, 2 and 0.
Which one do we do this?
Hold on, you can do it on the dry erase one first, okay?
So
We're going to do no, I'm just writing them down, then I'll go over with you at the same time, okay?
can I find them if I already know? I kind of already know.
I was paying attention earlier, but.
To watch you
It makes a lot of
working
sense.
ahead.
Many of you, some of you were not paying attention. All right, so now I'm going to start with L, okay? I'm going to go on my x-axis, and 5 is positive, so I'm going over here to 5, but I'm not going to plot yet. And then I'm going up or down 0. So now I'm ready to plot, okay? It's 0, so I don't go up any or down any, and that is my letter L. Okay? Now I'm going to plot M. Okay? I'm going over on my x-axis 2, positive, and another 0. So it's going to be right here, and that's going to be your M.
Oh, it's not ABC.
Okay, now we're going to do N, and we're going on the x-axis, and this time we're going this way because it is a -7. So we're going over to -7 and up 2 because it's a positive 2. Okay, and then I'm going to positive 3, and I'm going down to -7. And that is my O. Okay, did you practice those? Compare those to mine on the screen and check them.
I did.
Let me see. Oh, it's pretty close. Close enough.
Okay,
Oh,
Where's
It's
that?
real
Oh, I put a D or something.
not really, but yes. Not really.
all right, so now I'm going to move on, and we're going to do,
Erase this.
you can erase that, and we're going to move on, and I'm going to add a few other things to this, okay? So notice that if you are given 2 sets of points, such as 3 and 2, and 1 and -2, okay? Okay, this is where we're going to be finding our x and y intercept. Everybody go over to page 346 with me, okay? In your book at the same time. Notice on the right that lines RW and AB cross both axes. Now remember, this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis, okay? So the x-intercept is the point where the lines cross on the x-axis. The y-intercept is where the lines cross on the y-axis, okay? So I'm going to plot these 2 points. I want you to watch closely. I'm going over 3 and up 2. The next one, I'm going over 1 and down to a -2, okay? Now, I have my 2 points plotted. So now I'm going to draw a straight line. And that was supposed to straighten out. There we go. Okay, now, okay, it's not going to be exact because I'm not that great. But notice that the points cross on your x-axis, which is here, because this is your x-axis. This is part of slope. And they also cross here on your y-axis. Okay? So remember, we went over 3 and up 2. We went over 1 and down 2. Now, of course, you use a straight edge ruler and you draw a line. And we can determine where our okay, we can determine where they cross at the point. Now, So they really, if I could get this right, the y-axis is going to be right here at a -4. But I can't quite get the line right, okay? I can move that line, but... There we go. That's better. Okay, so that's very close to being right. Okay, so it crossed where? On the y-axis, it crossed at a -4. This is important, guys. Everybody look up here. It crossed at approximately a -4. Where did the line cross on the x-axis? Positive 2. Positive 2 right here. Okay? More importantly, right now, you're learning that when you're giving two sets of points and then you're going to draw your line, you're going to be looking for your x and your y axis, okay?
Listen to the y-axis.
All right, so now let's try some more, okay? Okay, first of all, let's say that you are given a -2 and a 4 and 5, 6. How would you how would you plot 4 and 5, 6? Think about that. You would go over to what? Like in between, right? Yeah, this is one of those, oh, I'm going to do my best. Well, first of all, I'm going to start here with this -2. Everybody look. I'm going to -2. And then 4 and 5, 6 is positive, right? So I'm going up. -2 up to 4 and 5, approximately right in here. Okay?
If you zoom in on that, I can't really see it.
Actually, I'm wrong. It should go right 4 and... So I'm going over to -2 and up to 4, almost 5, about right here. Okay? Just so you know, with a fraction, it's a little more than 4.5, right? Actually, it's really almost at the line here because 5, 6 is almost a whole number.
Is it about as much as 75%?
And let me just erase what I got here, and then we will, well, that wasn't good. Let's just go, well, no, it actually just erased my graph. It erased it. All right, so here we go. Now, let's go ahead and let's try another x and y intercept, okay? And then we'll move on to more graphing practice, okay? So, let's say that we have a 2 and 0 and 0, -4, okay? So, 2, 0, which is right here, 0 on the x-axis, so that means I'm going up and down to -4. Okay, and then I'm going to, no, not that.
Oh, I see the difference. These are like right up on
Okay, see, I can get a straight line, but I can't. Sometimes it's hard to. There we go. That's more like it. There we go. So we can see that actually our plotting points is where they're going to cross the x and y axis. So they crossed where? Where? This is our x axis and this is our y. They crossed at where on the x? At 2. So that's at 2 is our x-intercept. And y is y-intercept is -4. Okay? All right, you guys look bored, but that's keep going. Now let's do practice plotting some points, okay? Now, I think you guys are ready to do your work. No. I'm going to give you your assignment, and then I'll be here to practice with you.
Wait, we have 5 minutes left. Come on.
Oh, 5 minutes? That's plenty of time.
Well, you're going to finish it for homework. Okay, you're going to do 1 through, you know what? I said 1 through 24, but I'll change that to 1 through 20. You'll only be plotting points today, okay? So pages 346 to 347. Notice that you're just going to be plotting points, except go over to page 347. Here, and they already have the grids for you. On the grid, blank grid, you're going to draw, you have to draw your, okay, if you don't want to use, if you want to use this grid, you can just use this one for 13 through 20. Is everybody listening? If you want to use this one, Ezra, for 13 through 20 instead of drawing one, okay? You can use this for 13 through 20.